So we have some really exciting news, something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time, and kind of the opportunity to be able to do it has kind of aligned itself. Mustang Challenge popped up and they had the capability of going to Le Mans. So that was my new target focus for road racing in 2025. So immediately we tried to put together a program. But I was talking with my buddy Chip, and he's been a long-term friend of mine, got me into road racing. We've done a lot of racing together. And he was like, let's just buy 2 cars and we'll figure it out. And we did.
All right, we are here doing some exciting things. Check this thing out.
So we found 2 cars, which was perfect because both of us wanted to drive. They were a little bit north of us. Actually, I think they were in Virginia. So I got in the truck and empty trailer and rolled up there and went to inspect the cars. And here's what they looked like when we got them.
Sliders on the seat. Amazing. So, there's probably a main power. Okay, master.
Ignition.
Okay.
Should be, and then just should be start.
Race car shit. All right, we did a thing. Spare wheels, a couple spare tires, at least to get the car rolling on. Knuckles, springs, transmission, diff. 2 cars complete, less than 8 hours runtime on each of them, and no major damage, so pretty fresh. And yeah, I'm really excited to start this next venture.
So we got the cars back to the shop. I knew nothing about them, so I kind of became familiar with them. The switches, the knobs, the things. It called Ford Performance. They helped me out a ton. They've been really integral in making sure that all of the drivers have an equal opportunity and can basically get all the information to make the series really well. I've never done a full spec series that's factory backed, and it's been really cool in that aspect of just being able to call and get support. And things that normally you'd have to engineer solutions for, they've already pretty much done. So it makes it a lot easier for someone like me who's getting into it that has a lot of other stuff going on, and we need to have a good car when it shows up. So we had a big upgrade package, and in the upgrade package there was like a diff ring gear change, clutch change, some suspension pieces, some software updates, some little bumper clips, and some other things. And basically we had set our sights on doing the first race, which was at Sebring. And this is where this car kind of came together. We got our livery done. We got all the cars set up. We got some partners on board that we were really excited to work with, and they were really excited to kind of take this next step and go from a Formula Drift champion to a driver at Le Mans. So gearing up for Sebring, it was interesting because, again, Chip and I both had cars that we needed to finish, and neither of us really knew anything about the actual cars. We got some great help from some local drivers and some local engineers that were based out of South Florida, where the cars were getting put together at Chip's place. And they actually came together at the last minute. It was about a day before leaving for Sebring when this car was on the dyno, making a pull, making sure we had a health baseline check with the car, getting all the wheels, the tires. These run like a VP race fuel, so we had to order all that stuff in. The Apex wheels showed up literally days beforehand. It was very close. So we got all the tires mounted at the track.
All right, Chip, what are we doing?
We're getting rowdy.
We're getting rowdy. We are at Ford Performance Training Facility, and because we didn't get any time testing the Dark Horse R's and Sebring is tomorrow, they allowed us to come last minute to Ford Performance and turn some laps in their simulator. This is like a big deal because it is apparently one of the most realistic scenarios we could have got ourselves in, and I definitely am excited to turn as many laps as I physically can. So let's see how it goes. That's a good opener. Maybe we can add a trophy to this. Got Dark Horse R right there, ready to go. And an FR9.
And we went out for our first laps at Sebring.
Holy shnikes. That was fun. I gotta say,
I was ripping. I don't know how, but I was ripping. I warmed up the fronts by doing like understeers, like we do, and like everybody else was doing the like this. I was just plowing the field to heat the tire, and then I went around turn 2, and I was just like and blew the tires off, and then it hooked up, and I blew by everybody because everyone was waiting for their to warm up, and it was hot already. So I guess I have a little bit more data on heating tires up and maybe overheating them. But yeah, first session, first time driving the car. Oh, dude, this thing is a machine. It's ridiculous. Like, for being mostly stock, it's a race car. It's crazy. I feel like this car really likes to be shifted at like 66, 6700, even though it revs to like 8500. I would love to confirm that with someone. I have a check engine light currently, so we're gonna look into that. That might be part of my shifting early problem. I'd be down on power. We ran a 218 that lap, and this current car could do a 216. We didn't bleed pressures down, so the tires were like 40 something PSI, and they got really what felt to be greasy, but they were just probably over inflated. So I had to start toning down my driving as I was getting comfortable. The front springs, we put stiffer front springs in it because I wanted stiffer front springs. I'm an idiot. I should have left them. I should have acted like I didn't know what I was doing because I didn't know what I was doing. So every time in turn 17 and 6, I would be in the turn, up 4th gear, pinned, and the front end's bouncing off the ground trying to put me in the wall. So I'm just like sawing at the wheel, smacking my head on the cage because it's like the shocks are blown, but they're just oversprung for this bumpy track. So we're gonna make some changes, and I think today's session, next session, I'm doing a 15, which I don't know if it's fast or not. I don't know what the comparison is, but that would be, if I was going on time goals after these changes, I would be wanting to run a 15. The power's sick, the brakes are amazing. Well, for me at least, I'm sure that everybody else, I don't know, but I was super comfortable. I was full wrap counter steered a couple turns because I overcooked it going in and saved it with some angle, like drifter style. And I think that probably overcooked my tires too, so I'm just learning, figuring it out. But like I said, I feel like we're upper mid pack, like, or lower mid pack, whatever. Speed wise, obviously it's first session, and these dudes are gonna get faster. So hopefully I get faster at the same time. I'm gonna get out of this thing.
Yeah, just for get on the.
Yeah, I'm going to get that
on
one.
the watch.
Yeah.
That's true, but remember that.
Yeah, that's great.
How's your tires on the brake?
Oh yeah.
We don't have to go turn by turn at this point, but your biggest issues basically are the bumps, okay? But give me in balance and car control, car balance and
Yep.
power down, etc.
So basically, every turn it feels very neutral, under, over. During braking, it's a little squirmy, but I like it because it lets me know like when to turn in. I can almost time that to get it to rotate in.
Yeah.
Like it gives me a good feel of the car. Every braking zone, it feels like if there's a bump in there, I can feel the bump in the pedal. I ran at 18.
I got in that car.
I ran at 18, but every time I felt like I had a good lap, I had some dude spun off in the woods in front of me or below it at a turn, and like I'm still being like new guy courteous. I second lap dive bomb had 2 cars on the inside of 5-6 though. I was like coming in, and they're like, what? And I'm coming out of the turn like, yeah, and dancing it around. It was fun.
You know what you did coming out of 16? You went through the wall. 3/4 of that.
Whoa!
I mean, right,
Yeah, well, somebody was leaving. I was cooking.
almost right through the wall.
Oh my god. You have to shift at 6,500.
Yeah, it goes real flat. We got to get the shift lights.
I also had. Oh, I'm good with the shift light. I can see my shit.
Sure.
But I lowered my seat all the way. It's on the lowest. I might have to drill another hole, honestly. But I was gonna say, I have a check engine light too, and it turns on the first time I go over 6,500, so it's motor related. It is so flat. I came in to somebody on turn 1, picked up the throttle before them, had the mirror on the wall, and he's pulling away from me. And I'm like, how?
It's motored by car.
No, I think it's an electronic thing. Yeah.
I just
I'm gonna go ask them though. I'm gonna get out of my suit.
no, you got to walk around like you're
You're
stuck.
that guy, yeah.
You're that guy.
Shirt on and
At the hotel.
I'm gonna put some other
At
driver's
the hotel at the
shirt
Continental
on,
breakfast, you got to wear.
so I
your
look
whole
like a
gig.
fan.
All right,
With
you
this
smoked
strap.
them, right? You
Everyone
smoked
here
them.
is so much
Oh.
more respectful.
4 seconds faster.
You're 4 seconds faster?
4, maybe
14,
5.
that's impressive. 14 would be bad. Dude, whoever's in the Ford like wrapped car, the red black,
Yeah.
he was cooking,
Yeah.
and he got me 2 seconds because I got behind him and I literally waved him by because I'm like, please, you're about to speed my success up like crazy because you caught me, and then he couldn't pull away from me. So I'm like, oh, I learned. Thank you.
Your spot is.
So, part of this series is getting support from Ford Performance and basically everyone that's a part of it. And right now we got to check engine light because we put a clutch in the car and then resync the timing. So the basically crank trigger needed to be reset, recalibrated. He's plugging in and doing that, and also looking at some data. He's probably not going to give me any information on if I'm fast or slow, but he'll let me know if everything's running right and doing all that. And like that's not really something the race series normally do. So it gives us the ability to not have a guy that's here doing that and knowing that everybody's getting the same service and hopefully everyone's making the same power. Did you look at that data at all?
Yeah, I did.
Anything weird or?
No, throttles are wide open, manifolds full pressure, camshafts are in their spot.
Okay.
Fuel's LVT, sparks right close to MVT. No.
Were there any over revs or anything on my shit at all, or no?
I didn't look for that specifically,
Okay.
but I didn't see too much above 7.
Okay. Sweet. And what do they normally rev to?
7,500.
7,500. Okay.
Yep. And we do make it so they're gonna. I know they're all lit above 7,350, and I think by 7,400 it's blinking at you.
Yeah. Copy.
Yeah, you'll know if you hit it.
Yeah, for sure. I always worry more about on the downshifts because you're like in the braking zone, getting it, and it auto like blips the throttle and stuff. So I'm like,
You can turn that on and off and switch your.
yeah, I saw that. I don't know. I felt like it's fine to use it.
I haven't seen anybody not use it.
Yeah, it works well.
It works, so yeah, why would you want to be heel towing when the car can do it for you?
Yeah, well, the guy in the sim was like, dude, stop heel towing, it's doing it already. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I started doing it the other way and it was working. So I'm like, oh, I'll just do that. It's funny, the sim translated pretty well to how the car drives. There's not as much feel, obviously, but like the speeds, the steering, the shifting and braking was all the same.
Yeah, we were.
The back of the car, I came in there, I'm like, I'm done. I saved it. I didn't totally wrap myself. I was like, dude, this thing's loose as hell. I thought they just dropped the tire pressure, so I drove it like it was gonna have more grip, but it freed it up. Turn 4, I turned in, my car was just like, I wasn't even going fast. I thought it was 11. I'm like trying to figure out laps here, but so 6 is the hairpin with the big braking zone after the long right? Okay, the car's money though. No under, no over. Blast the throttle in second. Does that sound right? Yeah. And then the kink after that is 6?
That would be 7.
Of 7.
Yeah, seven. Sorry. 8, 9.
Hard right-hander.
9 is the hard right hander, or 8.
8. Because it goes 6, that's sweep, and then you go hard right. And then you go hard right, and then there's that.
Double apex left hander.
Correct.
That's the turn I'm talking about. So
Right.
that's 8. 8 and 9, or just 8?
Whatever.
Whatever. So that turn also flat, wide open. Shifting to 4th, right at the apex of the second one. Second apex. Okay. Cool. And then
And down the third.
3rd, not 2nd, there.
3rd.
What about turns 2 to 4?
The only place you're in.
Sorry, 3 to 4.
The only place you're in second's the hairpin.
Copy. Yep.
Unless
so I
we're
was,
start of the race, everybody woes up.
Yeah.
That's other than that.
But they have so much grunt that almost it doesn't matter. And the car is smoother not revving it out. Like it has more grip not revving
That's
it
why
out.
you do a third.
Yeah. So yeah, turns 3 to 5. I'm 3rd. I was 2nd at first.
Right, you're slowing the car.
Well, that and like it
then
has
it's
no balls.
But it's
there.
just it gets darty too.
See, I like the dardiness.
Yeah, but you're not going fast.
I understand.
You're doing more.
No, but the dardiness to me, I have more control. So, but the left-hander 4, there was the oil down or coolant or somebody blew something up because I couldn't. Second half of the session, I was like 4-wheel uncontrolled slides that whole turn.
You need a dry race motor and friend on the track.
Oh, dude. I know the turns, I just don't know what numbers they are. So it's hard. Like, I'm trying to relay it to Jim, who's helping us with chassis setup. And I'm like, tight right-hander, it's doing this. Long left-hander, it's doing this. And he's like, yeah, what turn, though? I'm like, I don't know, dude. Because I don't know, like, I don't count it unless there's a transition. You know? So, like, one turn could be 3.
We need a good printout.
We need a printout. I'm gonna get my phone and load the satellite for the GPS. There's probably GPS on the dash.
So overall, Sebring was a huge success. I got to finish both races. Well, I guess successful for me. I got to finish both races. I moved up positions. I had some off-track excursions, some big drifts, some overdriving of the car. I'm slow unless I overdrive it, and then the tires can't take the overdriving. So either the setup wasn't perfect, or I was driving the car and couldn't find the balance of being quick enough. Because I was like 5th to 8th in times, and I had worked myself up to 5th and 8th, and then or 6th I think total, and then I kind of just fell off because I worked the tires too hard. I'm not a road racer. I've done a lot of road racing, but all of it's been spec Miata, where you get multiple races out of a set of tires, and these tires were done about 20 minutes into the 40-minute race. So I was nursing it around. My teammate Chip had a big off and crashed the car pretty good because I radioed and tried to get him to come give me a push across the finish line, and we ran out of fuel out of it. Basically, about 6 ounces of fuel would have got us to the finish line at that point. But learning, and I'm not mad about it at all. I had a blast, had really good success. We made a pretty big impact, even with mistakes that we made on track that would have normally, I think, taken other road race guys out. My intuition and 20 years of drifting kind of saved that and allowed me to stay competitive and not get passed when I do a spin out or 360 or things like that. So cars are prepped for Le Mans, and we're about to load up now and take the cars. They're going to go into the belly of a giant plane and get shipped to France, and then we leave on Friday, and we're going to get out there, prep the cars, do everything we need to, and I have not even seen or driven the track on the sim. I know it's 8.5 miles long and it has some city stuff going on. But I chose to not look at it at all until the cars left, so I could focus this week on getting on the sim and driving some laps and preparing that aspect of it. I think we have a good setup in the car. The guys who set it up have raced Le Mans before, so there's some education there. But we're going over with a skeleton crew. We got a couple guys that I enjoy being around, and that's kind of what makes the most fun of it. And I think my goal is to just finish the race. That's the key. And just be able to leave saying that we put an effort in, built a program, and got to drive Le Mans. That's, I mean, the pretty much biggest thing I could ever achieve in motorsports. And I don't know, we'll see when we get there and see how much fun we can have.